This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Live from Peach Time Out in the heart of Times Square. You're listening to Beach Talk Radio with Kim and Ed Ryan.
And hello, everybody, and welcome to Beach Talk Radio, episode number 224. We're coming to you live from the public square here in Fort Myers Beach, Florida, and, of course, Times Square and Peach Time Out, and coming up on 4 years. That's right. Next month, July, will be 4 years. Amazing. 4 years. Before we get rolling, for our 49 listeners, because obviously it's easier to get 49 listeners than it is to get 49 signatures, I want to say thank you to all of our great sponsors, including Sun Palace Vacations, Fort Myers Beach Realty, Fort Myers Tiki Tours, Nervous Nellies, Mangaritas, State Insurance USA,
Continue.
La Ola Restaurant, Coastal Vacation Properties, Tuckaway Cafe, Beach Pottery, Shuckers, the Farmers Market at the Beach Baptist, Island Carts, FMB, JPS Vacation Rentals, and, of course, Beach Time Out. We'd like to thank all of you for your donations and contributions and money that you've been flipping to us on the PayPal and the Venmo, and we appreciate all of that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, what are you doing with all of that, by the way?
Just
I don't ever see any of it.
Sending it away to my girlfriend and making sure she has a nice car and a condo. And
oh, that was low.
Because your
that
car
was
is
low. Yeah.
So
that was low.
I napped a good part of the day away yesterday. Did I miss anything in the news? Holy cats!
Yes.
It was a big day yesterday.
Hey, how come you don't have
can't see the
Facebook?
comments?
Yeah,
there we
we
go. Right there. I want to
All
make sure everything sounds okay. So we have a great show lined up for you today. We have Karen
I'm glad
Woodson.
you moved on past that.
Yeah. I don't want to talk
really
about
not
that.
a topic.
I just like to be a spectator when it comes to that because it's very emotional, and I don't like emotional.
No,
I'd rather just be a spectator when it comes to that.
You're kind of stone cold, Steve Austin.
Yeah. Next Monday is the 4th of July, if you're keeping track at home, if you're keeping score of the date. And we're going to broadcast the parade tomorrow. We're going to practice the parade tomorrow. We're going to broadcast the parade live from the Whale. That's where we're going to be on the 4th of July at 10 o'clock. And then later on in the evening, we're going to broadcast the fireworks for you if you're not going to be in town. So the Fort Myers folks, the Fort Myers Beach folks do such a great job with the fireworks.
Fireworks
it's crazy
are great.
Good. Crazy
it's
good.
It's rough on the puppies. Like, we're going to have to settle our dogs before we leave.
It's got to be rough on the turtles, too, I imagine. Like the turtles, they're about ready to crack the eggs. Next week, they're going to start cracking the eggs.
Yeah.
And so I wonder how does that float with the baby turtles? Do you have any idea?
I don't think they'll.
Does it wake them up out of the shells?
I hope not. I imagine there will not be a lot of nesting that night.
You see 3 more listeners or viewers, and we have 49. See how easy it is to get to 49? It doesn't take a lot of effort. So we're almost at 49.
Let it go.
I will in November. I'll let it go. By the way, we want to send our condolences out to the Mann family. Frank Mann passed away this past Monday morning. He had pancreatic cancer, and he died at the age of 80. And what a super nice man, Frank Mann was.
Yep.
We had him on the show when you and I did the show from Cantina 109 at the Gulf Coast.
Yep.
And he was so gracious, and he was so nice. And, a couple of months ago, I watched all the county board meetings, too, and you noticed that he kind of looked like he lost some weight and stuff, and I was asking around, being nosy that I am, and it was clear he wasn't doing well, and then he came to the last meeting, and he left, like, in the middle of the meeting, and such a nice man, and he did – I didn't know he was in the State House and the Senate, and he was a lieutenant governor candidate. I didn't know all that until this past week, only watching the county board meetings, but I think the service is today.
Is that?
Yeah. So,
well, as someone said, as many have said, I'm sure, that those are going to be some big shoes to fill.
And
I mean, he was in that spot for a long time.
I think it was 15 years. Nobody would run against him. It would be embarrassing to run against him. Look at George is here, our friend George. He works for the magazine.
Right.
And the other thing that I wanted to mention was, hey, George, nice to see you. Thanks for coming. He's from Dayton, Ohio.
Ohio's got a lot of good people
what were you
up
talking
there.
about? I was going to say something, and I completely had a brain fart right there.
About
surprisingly.
Frank Mann?
No, it was something else. Anyway, it'll come back. Later in the show, everybody, I'm going to show you a picture of what my wife's artwork was.
We were talking about the big shoes that he's going to fill.
Yeah.
And so who
that's right.
fills
That's
those
right.
shoes?
I saw that the county sent out an email yesterday. Thank you for the reminder. There's going to be a special election. I think it's going to be in August. A special election. I mean, obviously it's a Republican county, and I thought the governor appointed somebody. So now I don't know what I'm talking about, but I thought Lee County sent out an email that said there was going to be a special election for that seat. But I'll get it straight for our newsletter on Tuesday. And by the way, thank you to everybody for subscribing to the newsletter. And for those of you that actually read it, never mind. I'll talk about that later. But we want to make sure that you stay to the end of the show, because I'm going to show you a picture of my wife's, I don't know what you call it. Do you call it artwork, or I took a picture of the table, and I want to show it to everybody. And we're going to have to talk about that.
For the love of God.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll get some
you
opinions on
You probably took it from not
that.
a great. I have one little spot to fix on there.
I don't know
Debbie,
if
I
there's
hope
a good
Debbie
angle.
is watching.
That's right. If Debbie Lalo is not watching, because she is the fixer-upper of these kinds of things.
And I have, now that I've started on this project, I have something I am going to seek her opinion and her guidance on, if she's so willing.
Yeah. And so the thing that I thought was, I looked at the table and I said, what the hell did you do to our table?
I know. You
It's
are
like,
not
I
very,
guess,
you don't.
I guess
listen,
it's sometimes when you're staring at a piece of artwork on the wall and you're thinking,
art.
this is art. Like you have people that are all disfigured and looking funky and stuff, and then people tell you got to look at it like
sort of painting.
Well, I want to
thing.
show. I want to show the
that's
picture.
That's not it. I refinished a piece of furniture.
Oh, now don't give it away. I want people to look at it and comment on it. And folks, I want, when you see her piece of artwork, I want you to give your honest opinion,
in my opinion,
on what you think before she kind of try to explain her way out of it.
Bad picture of it. It's only the second time I've done that too. So
can we have a conversation before you take a paintbrush to the indoor furniture? I mean,
hey,
please.
You're lucky I didn't do the kitchen cabinets.
Yeah, she says to me she's going to spray paint the kitchen cabinets. I'm like, who gets that idea? Like, where do you come up with an idea that spray paint is ever going to look good in your kitchen?
No, they weren't. I wasn't going to spray paint them. But
you said I'm going to spray paint the kitchen cabinets.
Now you're trying to paint, but I was going to paint them.
You said spray paint. When you shake that can and that goes off, isn't that like a spray paint can? Isn't that what you were shaking? Isn't that what a spray paint can? How would you? I mean, what color would you spray paint the cabinets in the kitchen? What color would you make them? I was going
to take them back to a much lighter color, maybe a buttercream color.
Oh, I love buttercream. That's my favorite color. Now we're talking. Can you get buttercream and spray paint?
Yeah, you can.
All right, I'm in.
All right. Wait, I'll get you a can and we'll just start doing
Let's get to our guest. She wants to be out of here like as quick as she can. So ladies and gentlemen, let us introduce to you the next council member for the town of Fort Myers Beach. She's definitely the favorite to take most of the votes. Karen Woodson, everybody. A big hand from our live studio audience. Thank you.
And let me just say, you have this adorable pineapple dress on.
Pineapple dress.
Yes.
Wait. What do you mean pineapple? Oh, there. I see.
See?
Wow.
I was trying not to stare at her dress.
And welcome, and other people say it means other things, but we're going to keep to friendship and welcome.
Wait,
yeah.
What are the others?
Who else wore pineapple attire on the show?
No.
The George
of the Jungle? No,
yeah.
What do you mean? George who?
He came on.
What's his last name?
I don't remember.
Right.
He's the street entertainer. Remember?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Which one is he? I
George, yeah, George. He. I haven't seen him in a while,
I
but
haven't
he
seen him in a
puts
while.
the rope around and he's a good,
Magic tricks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
yeah,
he's,
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I've seen
George.
him.
Now I can't.
I've seen
Now
him.
I'm flipping out on
See?
his last name, but yeah, he's one of the better ones out there. So
Who's the guy that does the straight jacket one up there?
I
I
don't think I've
don't
ever
know.
seen that one.
Yeah, he's like in a straight jacket and he's on the one wheel unicycle thing and he's up there and trying.
Is that a nighttime thing? Or,
I
'cause
wonder
don't
if
think-
that's
it is.
him
It's in
now.
the evening. It's in
Interesting.
the evening. I've seen it a
So,
couple times.
pineapple means friendship. Is
Yes,
that
friendship and welcome.
where did that come from? I didn't know that.
I
Is that
I
just
don't know where I learned that.
I see.
I've just always known
I
that.
see.
That's what I've
So,
always been told.
the
Let's
first
put
thing
it
I
that
wanted
way.
to say is, do you need this
Oh,
at all?
that's what it
Do you
was.
want to borrow this?
What-
You're not
why-
getting it.
I don't get it. What?
Yesterday,
A
what
watch?
happened yesterday?
Oh, you
So,
know what I did. You know,
Yesterday,
here's
her
what I
let
mic
me
is
did.
not
tell
working.
people that,
Oh my
that
God.
don't know. What? My watch
Her-
isn't working.
No, her mic. Turn
Her
her
mic
up.
is working. Fine.
Obviously,
Yeah.
my watch
There we
wasn't
go.
working.
So yesterday they had this the board cab,
So
there was a cell
embarrassing.
cab, and the three committees, and you're
listen,
on two
wait,
of them, by the
wait.
way, aren't
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Let me just say,
I'm on two of them.
I wasn't going to address this with you off the show.
Oh, she could take it though.
It
So-
was so embarrassing. So I will just
Tell
give it
everybody.
up.
Yeah.
So I had on my calendar that this meeting was at 12:45.
Yep.
And I thought that's an odd time for a meeting, but okay. And so I come walking in, and everybody's sitting up on the bench, and they're just,
Been going
deep into
for a while.
conversation. And I walk in, and I, have my name tag there. I take my seat and everything, and they're like way into this whole thing. And so I finally said,
Did I get the time wrong?
did I get the time wrong? Because it seems like we're way into the depth of things here. Well, what had happened was when I got the email, I was in Minnesota.
Oh,
So I put it in my calendar, in my phone. And then, of course,
The time
when the time changed,
Oh,
it moved from
that makes sense.
11:45 to 12:45.
There you go.
And normally what I do when I'm out of town is I'll put the time in the heading on my calendar entry, and I didn't. So the time changed, and I was an hour late.
did you
and
explain that to them? Like,
I
or
did.
they?
after the meeting?
I was going to say, you must have been after.
yeah, because I'm trying to think.
I
I am so exact about time and being on time and
So-
being early. And
I
So-
was sitting there watching
No, we're
it,
watching.
and
She's
then I
watching the
blinked,
meeting.
and there you are. And I'm
She's
like,
like-
wait a minute.
there
What?
Karen appeared.
She's watching the meeting. I was doing work.
Don't believe anything he's
And
going to
she-
say
no,
right
and
now.
she's like, "What?" She's an hour into the meeting, and she goes, "Oh, Karen just showed up."
Seriously, it was so, and they were so polite and
Yeah.
humble and nice
Oh, of
about it.
course.
It's like, oh, don't worry, we're
Crap
talking about the
happens.
same thing for the third time now. I'm like, okay,
Which they were, by the
I
way. I
didn't
mean, it
miss
went around in
anything.
circles.
I know.
All right, Karen, we're going to do something that I'm going to spring on both you guys. It's something new. Of course, we want people to know you. So we're going to play a little game before we
I
ask
don't
some
like new
questions.
stuff.
Yeah, really.
We want people in the community to get to know you. So I'm going to ask you a rapid fire list of questions that have
Oh,
nothing to
geez.
do with the campaign.
Jeez.
Now,
okay.
your goal is to answer them quickly, okay? Do not put too much thought into
Oh.
it. Answer them
I-
quickly.
Would not
Are
suggest
you-
that.
Gonna turn out well. I have
Are
a
you
feeling.
ready? I'm going to start the
Sure.
clock. 60 seconds about Karen Woodson. Are you a dog or a cat person?
If I'm either one, I'm a dog.
All right. What's your first concert you ever went to?
Sly and the Family Stone.
Nice. Favorite TV show growing up?
Leave It to Beaver.
Smartest person you know?
Ooh.
Smartest person I know. Oh man.
Would you like to phone a friend?
Me? No, I'm not gonna say.
Oh.
Dead or alive?
Should we come back to that? It doesn't
Me. Come
matter.
back to that. I gotta
All right.
think about
Childhood hero.
it. Who would? Oh my gosh! I always wanted to be a teacher for some reason. Who was? It was a kindergarten show, and there was a teacher on there, and I cannot remember her name right now. But my second grade teacher was Mrs. Moyers, and I loved her to death.
Very nice. First job.
I worked at, well, first job was on the farm. I was driving grain trucks when I was underage, without a license. But my first real job where I actually made a paycheck was at Rouse's Discount Center
Nice.
in Columbia, Illinois.
There you go.
Favorite city cannot be Fort Myers Beach.
Charleston.
Best day of your life was?
Ooh,
God, there's been so many. Okay,
that's a good answer.
No, there has been a lot of.
Pick one. Come on.
June
Talk.
17th, 2000.
Why?
We got married.
married.
Okay,
Mark and I
gotcha.
got married.
Well, I didn't. How am I supposed to know that? Last
Well,
question.
Because what do you think she's going to say?
What would your last meal on earth
That would
be?
not be what I would say.
My last meal on earth. Let's see. It's going to involve tons.
So what is she on death
Tons
row?
and tons. Yeah, baby. I could be after
From-
this show.
From the beginning to the dessert. Last meal on earth.
Okay, so steamed mussels in garlic wine sauce.
Mm.
Then we will move into Caesar salad with anchovies. And then we're going to go to lobster, scallops, and snapper.
Wow.
Garlic mashed potatoes.
Yes.
That's a must.
Yeah.
Creme brulee for dessert.
What would your last?
And the wine accompaniment
I
with that?
see.
Oh, it's a course with every, or
Oh,
a
okay.
wine with every course that would
Got it.
pair well. I'd have to ask my friend sommelier to
Yes,
figure that
right.
out for me.
What did you think of my questions?
They were
You're
actually
impressed.
kind of
Thank
nice.
you very much.
I
We're gonna
was
do that
concerned.
with every guest
I was
now
concerned.
because there's a couple of shows that I listen to that I stole all the questions from,
Yeah.
and I just think that that's pretty interesting. You find out, like one of the things in the magazine that I'm the editor of is we have a sidebar, a box, and we ask them questions that are outside the interview, like what are 3 apps on your phone that people would be surprised that you have, or what podcasts you listen to, things like that.
Yeah.
Just because it the other questions always seem like they're easy to answer. You
Right.
get like, wow, I would never have guessed that about. Like, who's your favorite artist, right? Who's your favorite artist these days?
My favorite,
Singer.
singer,
Artist, group.
artist. Oh my gosh, Adele.
Okay, different than Sly and the Family Stone. How things have changed, right? I mean, where we're now Sly and the Family Stone. Where did they play when you saw them?
They were at the University of Illinois, Champaign, Urbana. My brother went to college there, and I drove up there for the weekend to see Sly. And this is really interesting. So Sly was 2 hours late, and when he got out there, he was so drugged up or something. He went right over the top of his keyboard. It was canceled. We were done.
Wow.
So we sat there for 2 hours and got about 2 minutes of performance.
Wow.
Did you get
your
your money back?
No, it's a college. No, we didn't get our money
gotcha.
back.
Dear, who was your first concert?
Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick.
I
Isn't that amazing? They're still together now.
it's so weird that I can't remember. As you're asking those questions, I'm like, I don't have an answer for that. But that one.
All right,
that
let
one
me
I
start
had
the clock on you,
No,
dear.
I don't have any answer.
Oh, that would be
I'm-
so
dear,
fun.
it's going
I
to
wanna
take
hear it.
forever.
All right,
I don't
just
have an
kidding.
answer.
We'll do that at
for a
home
lot
later
of
on.
them.
So, what was the other? Oh, mine was Iron Maiden.
Iron
Yeah.
Maiden.
Yeah,
I thought it was that other band.
Oh, Harry Chapin.
Oh,
That's right. I
love
saw Harry Chapin
too.
in high school.
You did.
In the high school auditorium or high school, there wasn't even an auditorium. It was like a gymnasium.
Who's the artist you've seen the most?
Oh, that's
Jimmy
easy.
Buffett. There's
Well,
no
Jimmy Buffett
no
for
doubt
sure.
about it. After that, there'd probably be nobody.
No.
Mine is Pink.
Pink. Yeah.
I love.
What does a
Pink in
ticket
concert.
go for Pink right now?
Oh, the last ticket I bought for Pink was like $350, but that was
Oh,
a
that's
few
the
years
highway
ago.
robbery right there.
Wow.
It's
Uh,
probably higher than that now.
So I saw that Brad Paisley was coming to Naples, and there's a whole the thing at Tiburon down there, and it's like I looked
Oh.
at the tickets, it was like $250 for tickets to that. I was like, you got to be kidding me! Who gonna? Well, Naples anybody can, but
Oh yeah.
it's like who goes to the
At
movies
Tiburon?
anymore? Yeah, isn't that a golf course?
Yeah.
What is your
So,
handicap,
outdoor?
by the way? Do you play golf?
I do.
Oh, I didn't know
play,
that.
I play at golf.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Oh, well, I don't know what my handicap is. I can break 100. Let's put it that way, and
Yeah,
I can
wow.
beat Mark on occasion.
Wow.
Now, why would you say that?
Because that's my pride and joy when I can beat him
There
That's
you
like
go.
de-pantsing
in golf.
him
Have
right
you
there.
seen
Oh, stop.
how he
His
plays
pants-
golf? Have you seen how
No.
far if he could straighten it out, that thing would be
Yeah.
300, 350 all the time.
Well, and how tall is he? Because he's
6'6".
he's relatively tall.
Yeah.
So
There's a
I
lot of
imagine
power behind that swing.
Yeah.
All right, Karen, let's
He
get in.
can reach that far down there.
Let's get into the nitty gritty here now.
Okay.
You're the clear favorite for the most votes this
Okay,
November.
so now that he's got you
Right,
all
with the jinx.
relaxed,
Yeah.
hang
Yeah,
on.
Now
No.
let's like go for the
No.
jugular.
So for the first question is an easy one. Like, how difficult was it for you to get 49 signatures? I mean, seriously, come on. I mean,
Okay, so I will say I had some help. I had people that volunteered to go get signatures for me because
That's
they
fair.
believed in me.
that's fair game.
Yeah.
That's part of I
And-
read the rules. You're allowed to do that.
Yeah. And I not only got 49, I got 91
Right.
signatures.
Right.
And then because I was told that you want to get more because some get thrown out because they don't sign their name exactly or print their name exactly, whatever it is. And so out of those 91, 71 qualified.
And so is it
Now wait a second.
Wait, I just wanna ask about the signatures.
Wait. Yeah, you can ask that next. But how did they disqualify those 20 people?
So you take it down to the voter registration,
Yeah.
Lee County.
Yeah.
And they literally go through and they match everything that you put on there to your voter registration card. So if you put your middle name in full, but on that petition you only put a middle initial, it's out.
Wow.
If your signature looked different than your original signature on your ballot or your voter registration card, you're out. So I don't know how. I mean, I think they literally go through one by one.
Greg said you should. No, I'm not even going to read it. But what was your question? Oh, stop
Well,
being Mrs. Nice Guy.
No, I wasn't going to be Mrs. Nice
And
Guy,
ask your
but
question.
whatever. So now, if someone signs for you, they can't sign for somebody else,
No, they can sign.
or
Okay.
they can sign as
Yeah.
many.
That sounded
People's-
goofy to me
okay.
last week. Patrick said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that wasn't right.
Did you hear what he said? Like,
I heard
if you
he told
got
me I was out here taking over all the tables and getting signatures. It's like, well, okay, you know,
it didn't make any sense that you're not allowed to. Like,
you can sign
all right,
as many as you want.
Patrick, get your shit together, man. Know what the rules are for crying out loud. So, when you see somebody that doesn't get 49 signatures, that's been on the island for 100 years or whatever the count is. What is your thought about that?
Well, he either loves to spend money that he doesn't have to, you know, because then if you want to run, you got to pay your
$504. Yeah, plus $100 fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe he just doesn't care enough and wants to spend the money, or maybe he just didn't put a lot of thought and activity to it. I can't speak for him, but I
Right,
don't
right.
understand
No,
it. at
I
all.
wasn't saying anybody specifically.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying that. But I get your answer.
Well, Patrick said that he didn't understand the process.
Yeah, I
So,
believe that.
But
And he was working, right?
yeah, and
Yeah.
he's working.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that does make a difference. And I honestly, I had great people that were willing to help me and took a stack of those petitions and went
Mhm.
door to door for me in their buildings.
Do you know
and that
somebody?
Kind of
Do
thing.
you know somebody by the name of Erica Raz? RACZ.
Yes.
She says you're the best, and all. She's yelling it through the computer like in all caps. So, did she help you get signatures? By the way,
No.
Oh, Erica,
she
what's your
actually-
problem? Why didn't she
doesn't
help
live
you?
on the island.
I see.
Yeah.
So, what Dan Allers told me, is he got 120 signatures, and all of them were disqualified because he did some technical thing he did wrong.
Oh,
Maybe he
my
didn't
gosh.
understand the process or whatever, or something. But
That
he
would
told
be
me
so,
So he had to
hard.
pay?
He had to go
he
back
had to
out.
pay.
and-
No,
oh,
he had to pay the $504, whatever
Well, how
it
do you know
was.
that hasn't happened to more than just
could've.
Dan?
Because
it
I
could happen
asked.
to other
You know what I
people.
did though too is like
Other people.
the deadline I think was May 16th. And so I literally turned them all in a week before. So in case
Good plan.
I didn't qualify,
You had time
I
to go
still
out.
had time to go out and get more if I needed to.
Well, it was good.
So
that
you're
you,
a good Plan B person.
There's
There's one of your
I'm
skills.
a planner, period.
It
There
was.
you
It
go.
was a good.
Except for when it comes to time on my
I was gonna
calendar,
say,
evidently.
I was going to say it was a good thing you were on
I
Florida's
jumped.
time on that, not Minnesota
I
time.
jumped on that one before you got there.
I was going to say that maybe that's what happened to Sly, but that was way before
That's way
they had
before.
cell
No.
phones.
All
No,
right.
way
So
before.
now that we got that out of the way, let me ask you this. Let's rewind to COVID, just to kind of get your opinion on. Let's say you're on the town council and I'm not
Right,
asking.
You've got to go reel it back.
'cause
We're
I'd
going
like to know-
forward.
I
We're
would
going
like-
forward with the Renaissance here.
Yeah, we want to go
I mean,
forward. We want to.
I have all right. One rewind question, then
Okay.
we'll go forward. If you were in the position of being on the town council at the time that COVID hit, would you have closed the beach?
You know, I've thought about this and I've had a lot of conversations with people about it. I probably would have closed the beach for a time to get people off the beach. And I know part of that was to get our spring breakers out of here, to get to our normal population. But I would not have kept it closed. I mean, the beach, to be able to get out, be in the fresh air, be totally by yourself, riding your bike, walking, doing whatever. No, I would not have closed it for the length of time that it was closed.
I guess I should have been more specific. There was a time on the beach, on the sand, where the county kept their portion of the beach open and the town council voted to close the beach. How would you voted on that? How would you have voted on that? Yes,
I
or
would
no?
have voted with the county to open the
Leave
beach.
it open. Okay.
Leave it open.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I'm
Yep.
glad I clarified that.
Yep.
All right.
And it is hard because hindsight is 2020. So
Right.
it's hard to kind of pull that out,
Right.
which is why the rewind questions.
Well,
Aren't
and
No,
always,
it's fair. It's
you
fair.
know,
It could
one of
happen
the
again.
Yeah. One of the things that I heard at the time, no one really knew about
Right,
COVID.
right.
Nobody knew what impact it was going to have. I mean, hospitals were
Right.
full. And to err on the side of caution
Different
is
story.
kind of
I agree with you that when this whole area was closed and we came down on a Saturday, and actually that Saturday, Murphy came down and did the show, and everything was closed. There was a conversation. Forget it. I don't want to talk about it
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
It's a waste of time. So
hopefully we'll never
Yeah,
have to face that again.
yeah,
Yeah, no
I don't want to
kidding.
drudge it up. So the other thing I wanted to ask you about was, let's say you were not running. How would you rank the other candidates 1, 2, 3?
If I was not running,
Right.
I would say John King,
Yes.
Ray, and
Okay. Fair is fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
Patrick. I
All right. Question.
No,
All right.
I'll sit out. Nope.
But
It's
now,
for
if
an
I
active
am running, can I
execution.
re-rank?
Yes.
Okay, me.
Yes. Of course.
Number one, John King, Ray.
All right. In November, let's say you are elected. Who should be the mayor?
I think one of two people should be the mayor because of their experience and what they have brought to the table, and that would be Dan Allers or Jim Matterholt.
Okay.
That
And-
seems to be the consensus.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
of the people that we've had on. So.
Yeah.
And the other question is it time for a change in the town manager's position, or are you happy with Roger?
I think we
Because you've had a lot of interaction with him on the Bay Oaks committee
Yeah.
and the other committees.
Yes, we do. I think we have a great opportunity as a town to take advantage of the fact that his contract doesn't end until 2024. We can dust off the strategic plan. We can set a new agenda of what we want our town to look like, our culture, and we can do a fabulous search to find the best talent, bring those people in, interview them, see how they can compare, and may the best person win. We
Oh.
don't have to renew a contract.
Right.
So when you say, is it through the end of 23 or the end of 24?
It's at 24. I'm pretty sure it's
Through
24.
24.
I
Okay.
don't know if it's through 24, if it's September of 24. I'm not
Okay.
sure exactly what the
So
date.
you think he should run out his contract, though? Roll that out.
Right now, I think it would not be good business because we don't have a candidate. We don't have someone in mind that I know of that would come into that place. And I think we have to set ourselves up for success in this.
Mhm.
And I think we need to take our time to look for someone.
Do you think it would take that long to find somebody that would want to be the town manager on Fort Myers Beach?
I don't think it would take that long,
Okay.
but it gives us the time if we do need it.
Well, it might take that long to find someone that you really feel is the best candidate. though.
Absolutely.
Well, and as Michelle pointed out, the former town clerk, it's been like a revolving door of town managers.
Have you seen the list?
I did.
Fired,
She
fired,
actually
fired. Yeah.
sent it to us once. I didn't know there was that much of
Yeah.
a turnover there.
Yeah.
And so the other part of that is a town attorney doing a good job or not?
I think they come as a package.
Oh, really? I see. Is there anybody else in town hall that is part of that package?
I don't know for sure.
Okay.
I've heard rumors, and where there's smoke, there's fire.
What does
So-
that mean, though? I mean,
Well,
just
there's
between
a
us
lot
kids.
of rumors that go on. There's a lot of rumors that circulate.
Well, do
about
share. I
things.
mean, we don't really spread
You-
rumors. It's
Oh,
all
yeah,
facts
yeah,
here. but-
right? Exactly, exactly.
So
I've heard things.
so
What-
let's
what
stick to the. Go ahead.
Well, you know what I've really heard though too.
Sure.
And
Let it rip.
I mean, I have heard, and I've heard it through several people, that Rogers employees love him.
I've heard that too.
That he's a good manager to his employees, for his employees, and that type of thing. So I have heard that, and I've heard that from several people. Yeah.
Why do you think the relationship between the town and the county is so strained?
There's a lot of history there. I don't think it's been managed well. I think people. How do I want to put this?
Any way you want, just
delicately.
between us three here.
We need leadership, and I'm so proud of Dan for taking the bull by the horns and making his own headway into Lee County and working with them and not against them, and going in with an open mind and not having all the previous agendas in mind. And I think it's going to take that to mend fences. There is no good relationship between Lee County and Fort Myers Beach. And to me, that makes no sense whatsoever. We need to bring fresh blood, fresh eyes, fresh motivation there.
And so what in that freshness are you bringing with you
Oh,
to this town council?
Well, I am
if
probably
elected?
one of the most open-minded leaders. I will take a lot into consideration before I actually state a position. But once I state it, that's where I stick to. But I will take, and I think that comes from being in human resources all my
Mhm.
life. All kinds of employee issues, and how do we make it good for the employee while still maintaining our integrity for the company? And if you have happy employees, you have a great company and you have great customer service. So
Karen, do you think that raising I know this, I'm going to kind of throw quick ones at you here. Would you have voted for the parking to go from $3 to $5?
No.
Okay. Would
Would you have voted for it to go up at all, or was that too big of a jump? Do you think it needed to go up, but that was too much, or do you think it should have been kept at 3?
Well, okay, I have a question though, because I can't remember when
Wait,
it was.
you're going to ask us
Yeah,
questions?
yeah, I do have a question. So I can't, and I'm only saying this because I can't remember.
Yeah.
When it
Oh,
was,
well, don't look at us.
I have a memory like a whip. So go right ahead. Lay it on
when
me.
it was $3,
Yeah.
was it also a 2-hour limit?
I think it was in certain spots on the street.
Yes.
On the
Terry's
main,
saying yes.
yeah,
She would know.
yeah,
She lives
yeah.
on the island.
Okay.
So the
Yeah,
thing
okay.
is that why, like now, you can tell it's slower now than
It's
it is
slow.
during season. Why not drop the price
You-
of parking down to $1 or
For residents
or
and
have a
for
free-
local people.
or have a free weekend so people
free Sundays,
Yeah,
all that.
have a free weekend so people from Fort Myers would be like, oh wait, it's free parking on the beach on
Yes.
Saturday and
Yes.
we can go down there for a change.
Especially on the weekends, as slow as it is right now for our businesses and everything,
Right,
we need to
right.
promote people
That's-
getting over here.
That's one thing that
I mean, let me just say,
Yes, go
I
right
have
ahead,
heard
dear.
people say,
because I love it when you say
Yes.
that. Your hair looks
I have-
lovely today, by the way. Extra
I have
time on your
heard
hair.
people say that, because when you raise the price of parking, people have to pay that. They have to pay that. But what they don't have to do is
Is
come and eat.
to see.
So they could, or buy stuff, so they
Right.
could bring their own food, and so that really hurts these folks.
It does.
It could
It really hurts.
hurt these folks.
Was that a question or a statement
no,
or
it
you
was just
get on
a
your pedestal
clarifying
today?
thing about.
So
about that.
now I lost my train of thought, but it'll come back to me. So
I wish your train
what
would
I was
go
saying
off.
is like when we were out on table 23 before we got in trouble, we were talking about, even when Anita was on the show, about why doesn't the town do some kind of promotion, like to draw people down from Fort Myers and get these businesses some business during the. Now we're back to what looks like a regular season where it's
Yes.
slow
Right,
during the
right,
summer.
right.
Like
We were-
last year
yeah.
was an anomaly.
Well,
How did
it's
you
an
like that
anomaly
word?
because of COVID. People
Yeah.
still
Right.
weren't willing to get on a plane.
Yeah.
That whole thing. That's not the case now. Now we are getting back into our normal
Yeah.
summer.
Like a bike night or a bike
Yeah,
weekend, or get those
put
bikes
all
out
kinds
here.
of, we've got a marketing director on the town council, and
We do?
I think we do.
A PIO, you mean? The Jenny Dexter?
Yeah,
she's
public
great.
relations.
Why don't they unleash her on the community
yeah,
for crying out
get
loud?
get some activity going.
Yeah.
It can be weekends, it could be evenings, it could be sunset celebrations, not to coin the
Right.
music down there,
right.
but it could be all kinds of things
Yeah.
that we could promote in the
You're,
summer
you're on that.
for the local.
So
well, let me just dovetail off of that because this sort
Nice
of came
word.
up in the meeting, the joint meeting yesterday.
thank you,
The
Debbie.
one that I wasn't at.
No, the one that you were there. So you're talking about increasing foot traffic and all that stuff. Come down to the beach. When Roger listed off all of the venues that are going to be up and running when this Renaissance, when all the buildings are done and Bayside is done, and that's going to require a lot of, as he was saying, programming and getting out there, and and that's going to require someone to really be getting that going as well.
Right.
What do you think?
I don't know personally all the people on the town staff. However, I would think that would be an opportune time to hire someone with this is their total background of event planning and promotional and that type of thing. We're going to need it.
No.
So
is he pointing to you?
I don't know why.
I have a
he
twitch.
was.
The thing
Yeah.
that'll be interesting is they're going to put a stage here. They're going
I
to put a
like
stage
going
at
to
Bayside
events.
Park. They're going to put a stage at Bay Oak, so that's kind of further away. And who's going to coordinate? Like John and the folks down here at Times Square were kind of coordinating the Sunset Celebration bands, and they were paying for it. Now that there's a town-owned stage, and I know you don't have the answers to this because you're not on the council, but it'll be interesting to see how they figure out if there's going to be a stage here. Is it going to be used to draw people down to Fort Myers Beach?
And
That's what the deal should be. Draw people down to Fort Myers Beach. But anyway,
Well,
so
I think that's one thing the advisory boards will probably.
Well,
take
it's
up at
exactly
some
what
point.
we're going through right now with Cell Cab and Board Cab. It's
Right.
like who, Cell Cab, Mound House, is it more cultural? Is it more historical?
Yeah.
That type of thing, where Bay Oaks is more active and sports minded and pool and event and beach time and family time. So, taking Crow out of the equation, Crab is on Sanibel. Taking Crab out of the equation.
Too many abbreviations
I
going
know,
on. Yeah.
but they've been inactive for 2 years. So,
So-
just take everything there and split it up between those two. It's
good
a
that
start.
It's good that you kicked out one committee. There was just too many. There's too many committees.
Now I
going
don't
on
have to write that.
there. And there was one committee that had 0 members. It's like,
Well,
why
so that
even
was-
arguing
it's been
this?
inactive.
Yeah.
It's
So
been inactive.
there's a volleyball court over here. Don't you think it should be for pickleball? I mean, come on, pickleball is all the
That
craze.
volleyball court's not under there.
I know, but we need to talk
That's Lee
to
County,
yeah,
isn't
we
it?
need to
Yeah.
talk to Sandelli and say, dude, come on, man. It's you got a volleyball court that's never been used.
They
The
do
pickle-
have tournaments there once in a while, I think.
right here in this
volleyball,
thing
yeah.
here.
No, I've
every
seen
time
beach
I
volleyball.
never see anybody using
No,
that.
I have
because
seen
you
tournaments
don't
there.
see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
But I do,
Why do you gotta
I
be
do
so mean to
agree
me?
with you, or at least, well, you can't make it half and half because you need the space. But
Yeah.
pickleball is such a hot
Have you
sport right
seen
now.
the latest pickleball craze?
oh, here we
Oh
go.
yeah, I think I heard about it on Beach
Would you
Talk.
ever participate in
Great.
I don't
naked?
play pickleball the way
neither
it
do I.
is, much less. It's so funny because a girlfriend of mine who's like really, really fit and mountain biker and all
Yeah.
this stuff, and and I'm like, Terry, why don't you play pickleball? Because that seemed like she goes, I will not play that until they change the name.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it is kind of a sissy name,
Pickleball, yeah.
pickleball. Yeah.
It's
So
pretty
Do you know where that came about?
I think Melissa told us last week where it came about.
Oh,
She knew
what?
Melissa was on last week. She knew the whole friggin' history of pickleball. She
Seriously?
was yeah. From
Where did
Yeah.
Whether it was,
I
I don't know where I heard it from, but it might have been her.
Yeah,
Now that
Melissa.
you say that, it was named after somebody's dog.
Pickle?
Yeah.
Oh, funny. Pickle get
there.
the
You're
ball.
bringing the show down. I mean, nobody cares
Just
about
saying.
that. All right.
Oh,
So
please.
let's get
Interesting fun fact.
Please,
Come
no
on,
one cares
Ed.
about your
let's
stuff.
get
Fun fact.
let's get back to the issues here. Karen, please stop trying to sidetrack this very serious show here. So obviously, one of the big issues going on is the Dune walkover, and we really need to know what your opinion is on whether or not you believe the Dune walkover should be approved and this thing put to rest, or you think that the town should continue the fight.
Well, right now, I think it's totally out of our hands. It's with summary judgment. It's with the state. The state has made their position on this and asked for summary judgment. And my understanding of how that process works is now Kramer and Rude's attorneys
Cromer.
have
Kramer's from Seinfeld, but Cromer.
Cromer.
Kramer. I like Kramer.
No, we were watching Seinfeld last week. Those sitcoms are
Not,
timeless.
not
I mean,
as funny as what we were
she was watching
yesterday.
Welcome Back Kotter last night. I mean, where the hell does that
I
pop up on your
was
TV?
Losing it on the one.
I couldn't. I had to go
Who-
back in the
no,
house.
who
She was
the guy-
watching
What was
it.
the guy's name? Not Cotter, but who was the funny in
Horse-
In that show?
Horseshack.
Horseshack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his real name though?
Ron.
Ron. Yeah, Polsack
Yeah,
or something
Pol-
like that.
something
I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Who was the big star of the show though?
Barbarino.
No.
Barbarino.
John Travolta.
Yeah.
But
John
we
Travolta.
digress. Let's get back to your
Okay,
point
so-
about the dune walkover.
Okay, so
Where else are you going to go
So
where
if
you
John
start with the dune
Travolta is
walkover?
walking on a dune
total welcome
walkover.
back, Cotter.
The state did not,
okay.
Debbie, the state did not approve the
This-
dune walkover.
no.
Just to clarify,
No,
the
state
stage
has
that
not.
we
The
are
state
now, if we
has
can rewind.
basically come to the court and given all of their reason of what it's all about the ownership of the land and why they own it. And here's all these pictures and all this. I would think that Rude and Homer
Cromer.
attorneys would be doing the same thing.
Sure,
and
they're
that's
ready.
going to be coming up.
They're ready.
So then it's up to the judge to
Mhm.
decide if they go to if he really makes that, or they go to court and they have a trial over it, or whatever it may be. Personally, I think it should never have gotten to this point. I
That's a bell. We never
There you
give
go.
guests
Yeah.
bell.
the
Well,
time that has been the time and money, and I know it's covered by insurance and everything, but the man hours, the brain power, everything that this has gone into this. I mean, let me just say that I love the critical wildlife area. Absolutely love it. It's one of our unique features. It's part of our
Mhm.
culture. Same thing with the turtles, all of that. Okay. I also don't want to see boardwalks all the way up and down the beach. I
Mhm.
don't want to become an East Coast boardwalk city. Not at all. But I do believe in property rights of owners. Now, having said that, there's been no decision
All
on
right.
this. And we, by the time I get in, did you hear that positively? That it's probably going to be a mute point.
That went right over
It's
my
probably
head.
gonna be
No,
done.
it's definitely not going to be done. I don't
But
think
I
that.
honestly,
The way the
okay.
courts work. So let's say November rolls around, either Jim or Dan, let's just for argument's sake, because Jim's not in favor of voting yes right now,
Mhm.
because somehow John Herron has, the town attorney has the council convinced that there's a chance that the town is on the right side of this. I'm not poo-pooing that. I don't know everything about it. I do know a lot about it. But let's say Dan is in there and he says, let's make a motion to grant the special exception for the dune walkover and be done with this. And we know that Dan will vote yes, and Ray, if he happens to win, would vote yes. I think John said he would, and Patrick said he would. How would you vote?
Honestly, I can't give you that answer yet. I don't know. I still am weeding through the piles and piles. I listen to both sides. I really am interested about who this ownership is going to come. It will behoove our town to have the state still be the owners of this property
Mhm.
in so many ways, in beach renourishment, in just going forward on, this is going to set precedents.
Okay, so
Mhm.
let me rephrase the question.
You're not going to get my answers.
That's fine. That's fine. At least it's on the record. Let's say the state loses the case against Eddie and Kurt, and then the homeowners own the property behind their homes. I
To
don't
the
know what
Meadowhall
happens to
side.
critical wildlife area. It doesn't mean they can do it. It doesn't mean they can automatically build a dune walkover.
No.
They can't.
No.
They
No.
can't
The
build a dune
designation would
walkover
go away.
without a special exception from the town. So now you see the town loses its case. Dan's the mayor. You're on the council. He says, I want to bring this up for a vote. How do you vote?
Isn't there a way, knowing where the critical wildlife area is, knowing this dune walkover, isn't there a way to separate those, put a dune walkover further down? We're talking a row of 9 houses there. put the do and walk over further down away from, and maybe this has already been discussed that I
But
wasn't
isn't that
privy to these
Eddie's point that
information.
it's not going through? It's going on the
It's not going
edge.
through.
It's on the boundary of it.
Yeah, and
And
that's why I think they
that's
even
Eddie
made.
saying that, and
Right.
you know, but have we really had
That's not the point, though.
surveyors
That's not
and
the
scoped
point.
it out?
The point is that the state has determined that Eddie and Kurt own that property. Whether it go now,
but it's
the
just
rest
like
of the-
any other permit. It's just like any other permit. You have to go to the town.
right,
You have
Right.
to qualify for the
right.
the
My
permit.
point is that whether the rest of the way down is irrelevant if they own the property. They're coming back, and Dan's saying
But I'm
let's-
just saying away from the critical wildlife area.
it's going around it now. They're putting it around it now. Let's just say they're going around the edge,
Right.
just for argument
Just for-
purposes.
Yes.
How do you vote?
Oh God. Yeah. Then it becomes a property right issue.
So you vote yes.
If the state
Loses
gives
its
up
case.
that property and it becomes a property right issue, but I think there's ways to do it with conditions.
What? Like what?
Well, okay, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Because the town was willing to say okay
I
to
love
the
this point.
permit.
I love
with
this
the
point.
public access.
Yeah, as long as
Mhm.
you give public access.
Okay.
So
Do
the
you know
dual
how-
walkover is okay if it's public access, but it's not okay
Exactly.
if it's just for the 9 people.
Exactly.
Right.
So I don't.
So
I
how
don't get
where
that
how does
argument.
the town explain that? We're going to give it to you if it's okay for everybody, but we're not going to give it to you if it's only okay for the neighborhood. So in other words, Eddie and Kurt, you take on the responsibility of the
And the
liability.
liability
Right,
of all of
As
it.
long as you nobody's crossing that
Yeah.
dune
I mean,
walkover
there
in that
is-
spot. Nobody would have even known about it.
There is no easy answer to this, but I do know that I don't want that critical wildlife area disturbed. And I
Nobody
don't
does.
want to see
Right.
a bunch of boardwalks everywhere. So I think there's more work that needs to be done. And honestly, we're going to see what happens with this in August. And aren't they being told to come to the table again for
There's- well,
arbitration in August?
There's a non-binding
Non-binding,
arbitration,
yeah.
which will mean nothing, and
Nothing,
then
and see if they can get anywhere
yeah, because
with it.
they're not anywhere close to an agreement.
Yeah.
And then they'll go.
Yeah, I don't see that happening with all of this water that's gone under a
if
dune
if
over.
you get a
It's not gonna
chance,
happen.
and then maybe you already have. If you folks out there get a chance to read the summary judgment, the state makes some pretty good points. Like, the state claims that Eddie and Kurt don't have the ability to say that this land accreted and it's now their property because
Mhm.
their property didn't accrete. Now I'm not explaining that correctly, but
right.
what it didn't, it's not their property that accreted, it was other property. So I was like, well, I've never heard that before. And then the other thing is that they say it could open up, like it used to be navigable waters
Right,
where
Right.
it all attached. Well, now it's detached, but they say, I don't know how far that argument gets.
And
Like,
I don't know if that's true or not true. I mean, I would like to hear from, some marine biologist people that can tell us, or, that type of thing.
I think it
can
just
that
comes down to the
open and
judge.
close and-
I think it will just come down to the judge, and whether the judge understands it and says, okay, he's in favor of, or she is in favor of property
Are they
rights
a-
or the state's rights.
Are they a land use? Is he a land? He or she? I don't even know the judge's name, but are they a land use?
I don't think
judge?
it's that. I think it's a Lee County judge, and it's just a general judge.
I don't
So-
know.
I
don't know.
All right,
don't know.
so I'm
I
not
know
sure.
that-
So complicated.
I'm not
I
sure.
know.
It's so complicated, and it's heartbreaking to see the division that
Gail
has
is-
taken place on
Gail
this
is
island.
Gail is watching, and she's. I'm sure she's pulling her
Yes.
hair out from everything I'm saying because of her position on that.
Well, I was on a website, and I don't want to get it wrong. It was Charlotte Harbor Estuary, CNEP, whatever. And I'll put it up. But what they have is they have a image of not only, it's the watershed, but you can zoom in on this area.
Mhm.
And you can see from 1995 how land use changes,
Yeah.
how the water
Yeah.
changes. And there's other reasons I was looking at it, but you can see
Mhm.
that area.
Yep.
And you can see how the land was submerged and then it was not, and how
the
it
thing-
was navigable and then it was
I
open.
want to.
So
I just want to say, with Gail makes a good point. Look at the aerial photos. I have looked at the aerial photos from the 60s to the
Right?
like the state
Right.
posted the photos from the 60s all the way to today. obviously you can see the things shifting and changing, the storms and the hurricanes and things. And so to me, I think one of the biggest questions is did they have access to the beach? And does this matter? Did they have access to the beach when they bought the property? Now, if they went around the neighbor's side of the house, is that really access to the beach? Or did they buy the house and they didn't have direct access? They always had to cut through the neighbor's yard. And then all of a sudden the neighbor figures out, wait a second, I own this property and people are trespassing on my property. And that was the way it always was. That seems to me like
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't either. And I don't even know if that
Maybe we could
matters.
tell from, it may not matter, but maybe we could even tell from some of these photos that the state submitted. But the same thing happens. Have you been down, Lovers Key, the Welcome Discovery Center?
Yeah.
And we've got that whole historical timeline of Lovers Key. And then the one exhibit is about all the changes in the land and the boundaries and the beach, and you hit one button and that's a 10-year period, and you hit another button and that shows how it's changed
kind of
over.
That's
what this whole other thing is. So I mean, we're not going to answer this today.
But
it's a dynamic system. I mean, that's the thing. So.
The other thing too is that the thing that's interesting to me is do they own the property to the high tide water line? Yes. Is the high tide water line the water on the other side of the critical wildlife area, or is the state claims the high tide water line is where that lagoon starts, because the lagoon was created from the Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
And so how does a judge rule on, which one is the high tide water line? I mean, what is it, dear? You know all this crap about water.
I don't know, but but once it fills in, once it's closed off, it's not getting.
But it was created from the Gulf of Mexico. That's what part of the state's claim is. It was actually created from the Gulf of Mexico.
And
anyway, we're just boring people about this stuff.
We're going circles with this.
Karen, what the hell are you going to do about affordable housing on the beach? It's gotten out of control.
Workforce
housing.
It's not affordable.
What about that parking lot behind Town Hall that the town spent $10 million on, or whatever, $1 million? Was $1 million, and that was going to be used for the mooring field, and now it's just sitting there blank. What do you build there?
Part of it is I don't think that the town needs to get into home ownership for people, but I do think that could be a parcel that could be sold off again to, who is the gentleman that came in from Lee County, and he had been in the workforce housing for the last 20 years.
We invited him on.
Now brought him back.
Different guy.
But I think in working in conjunction with groups like that, you could. I mean, I don't think we need to be in the rental business as a town.
Yeah.
But do we have to come up with some? That's just one place, and it's only going to be maybe, I don't know. Could it be 6 homes or something? I mean, we could take a lead from Sanibel, and I don't often say that, but the way they have worked their housing for their employees on that island, I mean,
the issue there, though, is that they started
many
years
40
ago.
years ago.
I don't know that
and we'd
you
be
guys
playing
have,
catch up.
And I don't know. I mean,
it
would be exorbitant to try try their model now.
But
there's other models out there that we could consider.
Well,
then we could sell that property off and make it a housing development with someone else. We don't have to be the broker.
What about that property that Rexanne was
speaking to the microphone?
That was brought up at town council, the building, like an existing building, and converting that
building where it could be retrofitted to something like that. But again, does the town want to manage property for that? I mean, I can say the same thing about the mooring fields.
Yeah.
Should we really be in the business of the mooring fields, or should we
contract it out
and take commission off something like that? I mean, there's a lot of things to consider.
What did you think of those 2 characters kissing in Lightyear? I mean, seriously?
Which one?
Did you see Lightyear? The Buzz Lightyear movie? No. I mean, it's crazy what's going on. You didn't see that?
No, I didn't see the Buzz Lightyear.
I didn't see it either. I refused to go. But did you know that Tim Allen wasn't in the latest Lightyear movie?
I've never seen a Buzz Lightyear movie.
I see.
So there
you should go. The first one's the best one.
I saw Top Gun. The second one.
Please,
was good.
with the Top Gun movie.
I
Are you
want
going
to
to bring
see
up the Top Gun movie?
I loved the first one.
I'm not
I'm
a Tom
sure I
Cruise
would
fan.
like the
For
second
some reason,
one.
I think are you looking at your watch like you got something going on? You
I
wanted to be
do.
on 30
Well,
minutes. We've
I
already been on an
know.
hour.
I
Karen.
just
know.
want to ask one last serious question
Okay.
before you go off. So this is my favorite one. What about community policing? Are you for
Good
adding
question.
some? Oh, thank you. Are you for adding some? Are you for adding community policing through the sheriff's department or doing your own thing on the beach?
I think it could be added through. I mean, the sheriff's department, they have all the skilled police already. And yes, I think we do need more law enforcement on the beach. Maybe, it can be cut back a little bit in the summer, maybe, but during season, especially, we need to double. I mean, those people, they don't have enough time or energy to get all through this island. So yes, I think we definitely need more.
Did you say
So
you were,
you would suggest like more in the during season and then like a
Well,
flexible number.
I think there could be a flexible number. I mean, I think we could bring on one for all year round for sure. Add
An additional.
an additional, and then maybe another 2 additional during season, 2 to 3. We'd have to figure out how they would line up along our 7 miles here and where they would be and that kind of thing.
How many is it 2 that are assigned here? Okay.
2.
So, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I will say, and I know this point has been made and I have seen it, that there's way more than 2. When I've been down here, I've seen way more than 2. So it's not like it's just 2 all the time.
Right. And I think you might see them too when they're changing out
Shifts.
shifts and that kind of thing. And a lot of the people that we have, a lot of them have been doing traffic control during, season or holiday weekends. And that right now, we still need that until we get this whole
Situation.
crosswalk.
Yeah.
That's a whole other deal.
Yeah.
Lighting,
Ugh.
crosswalk.
We'll save that for the next
We
show.
didn't even
Yeah,
get to
really.
the lights.
Oh my gosh,
So,
that,
yeah, we
that
don't wanna
needs to
answer-
move on.
We
Yeah.
want to make sure that we have you on many
How would
times.
you-
Move
how would-
along.
how would
Move
you-
on. Move on.
You
Move
want-
on.
by the
How would
way-
you get that to move along? I mean, it just
You
seems like
got to
it,
come to some agreements with Lee County.
Thank you.
I mean,
Okay.
you got to
Yeah.
work in tandem, and you got to work for the
You've
benefit
mentioned-
of our.
you've mentioned quite a few things in this show about working with Lee County.
I'm a very collaborative leader. I deal with if you take a step back. I mean, I look at everything right now, and we react to everything. I don't see a big one. I mean, I went back and looked at our 2017 strategic plan. That's the last time it's been done that I can see. And I know what they've talked about it, but I don't see any movement on it. So I think we really need to look at who do we want to be going forward? What do we want our culture to be? How do we want this town to look? We're going to be facing redevelopment in a number of areas, not just Times Square. How's that going to look for us? And in doing that, I think we then understand, okay, so if we're going to do that, you got to look at what is the cause and effect? What is that going to affect on other things? Are we going to have, even more people during season? What does that mean for our town? What does that mean for our restaurants? What does that mean for our police activity? All of it.
All your infrastructure.
You think
yeah.
the town should have its own police force?
I don't know that we need our own police
Right.
force, but I do think, to start from scratch right now on something like that, but to have more involvement from Lee County and
Right.
have, number one is the relationship there. We've got to figure out that relationship.
Right. So the Matt Caldwell is coming on next week. He's actually coming down live. The county, I think his title is appraiser, but Matt's coming on next week. The property values have skyrocketed, especially on Fort Myers Beach. So more tax money will be coming in. The town council last voted to start with a higher millage rate. Do you think it should be raised?
What I don't see behind all those numbers and when they talk about that mill rate is you don't see all the detail of what's coming in. Like I know LPA was given a budget, for budget approval, but all they were is numbers on a page. We didn't see any detail behind it. We didn't see where all the money currently comes in from. If we raise this, what would happen with this? So a blanket statement to raise the mill rate just in case we need it. No, I don't agree with that.
Okay, so are you in favor or opposed to homeless? Never
Being
mind.
it or
Right.
I don't want to be homeless.
Okay,
Thank you
good.
very much.
All right.
I never have wanted to be homeless.
That's a curveball. Do you want to revise your dog or cat question, or are you still a dog person at the end of the
I
show?
would be
I see.
between the two. I would be a dog
And
person.
anything else you want to revisit on the rapid
Maybe
fire
are you
questions?
the smartest man in the world that I should know or get to know?
oh, yeah,
No,
better?
that's
what was
right. You
the
need to
smartest-
revisit that. Who is the smartest person you know? You didn't answer that. Now you've had a whole hour to think about it.
Oh, she's
You know what? There's a man that none of you know. None of
Okay.
you know. He's he was a man. He was a friend of my dad's, actually. You know, when I think about it too, my dad was pretty smart.
There you go.
Yeah, he was
You know,
pretty
if
smart.
somebody asked me that question off the cuff, I would have no idea how to answer it. Like
Yeah.
who do you think is this? I mean, other than your family, that's
Right.
everybody loves their dad
You
and
know,
their mom.
I didn't
and
think
their-
my dad was that smart when I was a teenager.
Of course not. That's the way we know the
But
feeling.
as I got
We know the feeling.
As I got older, I thought, oh, maybe he does know a thing or two.
Who do you think
So-
is the smartest person you know?
I mean, it's a hard question.
I know
would
it's a hard
say-
question.
would
I
say-
asked the hard questions.
I would say from the people that we've met here,
No, period in your
that
life.
it would have been Dan Hughes.
There you go.
Oh.
Very Well, I see it would. I wouldn't even know to think of that. That's my
Mhm.
problem. You
That's
got the
how dumb
clock
you
running.
are.
She calls me dumb number one at home. Like that's our nickname for me.
No,
dumb
I
number
just-
one.
And
Nice.
I don't pretend to have known him, very well or very long.
Who,
We had-
me?
no, Dan Hughes.
Oh.
We had a couple conversations down here at the beach and watching him in meetings and just,
Oh yeah. And
Just
such a
a
nice
smart
guy.
guy.
So highly.
Yeah.
of
but
him.
not only
So
just
highly.
smart, but a kind and
Caring
thoughtful
person.
and
Yeah.
yes.
So I asked you during the week if you wanted to be on for 30 minutes or 60 minutes, and
Yeah,
you
I
said
know.
30 minutes, and I was like,
Sorry.
"Nah, I'm not
Yeah,
scheduling
yeah,
another guest
exactly.
because you have somebody on, and then it feels like 30 minutes, but it turns into an hour
Right.
because you're such a great guest. So how
Thank
How
you.
can people find your info on the campaign and donate to you? That's really, you want people to donate to the campaign because when
Mhm.
you get closer to Kim, Michelle said, good answer. Dan
Aw,
Hughes.
Thank you.
When you get closer to the
true.
campaign, you need to buy signage, you need to
Yep.
buy podcast ads, or maybe not that, but you definitely need signs and things like
And you
that.
want to run nice ads.
Yeah, and you don't.
Yes.
and
Oh,
you
yes.
don't. And you don't want to
Nothing
be.
like
It's got to be a
last time.
stand-up campaign.
Yes.
No ifs,
Yes.
ands, or buts. No
Yes.
slashing. No.
None of that
No.
from
Oh.
last time.
No, but on my Facebook page, and I think you also have it on the
Yep.
Beach Talk Radio.
Yep.
So there's 3 different ways. You can do PayPal, you can do Zelle, and both of those go directly into my campaign account. Or you can do a check and mail it to my home address and make it out to Karen Woodson Campaign Fund. But all 3 of those ways.
And now it's going to be pretty quiet now because it's summertime and there's not a lot of people on
Right.
Fort Myers Beach to campaign to. But come September, October, people need to get to know the issues, get to know the candidates, and realize that the status quo is probably not just the incumbent always has the advantage because
Right.
the incumbent is
Right.
always out there.
Right.
Whoever the incumbent is at whatever level of office they are in, they always have the advantage.
Yep.
So it's important for people to get out there and realize who the candidates are, all of the candidates, and make the right choice for the future of the beach. And wow, that sounded pretty cool, didn't it? I mean,
Wow.
that
That was good.
wasn't
that
even
was,
scripted.
That
good.
was good.
And so I think that
Well, I think they'll be holding town hall meetings again for
yeah.
sure. And I
Mhm.
know the Observer, when I talk to Nathan, he's going to be asking his question of the week. Not yet, but as we get
Yeah.
closer.
is that a
So-
newspaper or something, or
Oh, please.
I mean,
oh yeah.
does it
that
come
more-
out once a week or something? No, he comes out. What does it come out on Wednesday?
Wednesdays.
Yeah, Nathan's a good egg. He's a nice guy.
Wednesdays. Yeah. So I mean, there will be opportunities. I'm working on the strategy right now of how I want my campaign to look
Cool.
and looking at my own meet and greet type occasions and that.
Do you have like a big structure behind you, like a big campaign machine? Like the Republicans in this county
Yeah,
are a
no.
machine. Like it's a freaking machine. This county.
No, it's me, myself, and I.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
No,
we're-
you have a team.
We actually get along really good, the
Yeah.
3 of us.
What are you doing on the 4th?
On the 4th
Of July.
we are, I know what that is. We
was
are,
for her.
we're actually going to be at a party on July 2nd.
Yeah, we know where you're going.
You're going to be there. And then on the 4th of July, I think we're doing a beach day with a seafood boil,
All
and
right.
then watching the fireworks.
Yes. And so how long does it take you to do your hair?
Do my hair?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
10
got
minutes.
kind of sparkles in it. What's with the
Yeah,
sparkly
fairy
thing?
hair.
Yeah.
It's what hair?
Fairy hair.
Fairy hair.
Yeah,
I
where they
see, I
tie
see. How
in
come you don't
these
have
little
fairy hair,
pieces.
dear?
I I don't know.
Why?
I
You
don't
can
know
come
that Jean
Monday.
does it.
You
I
can
don't
come
know.
to Monday at Beach Pottery because Barbie is, well, she's actually angel hair. She's not fairy hair. She's angel hair.
Oh.
But Beach Pottery has her there once a month, and you go in and you get fairy hair put in. And
Does it hurt?
no, she just takes a strand of hair.
What about me? Can I get some
ties
fairy
under
hair?
silk strands.
You need some hair
Yeah.
first.
Karen, thank
can
you
tie
so
it
much.
on your hat.
And that's a great segue because I need to tell everybody about Beach Pottery.
There
so
you go.
we'll
There
see
you
you
go.
next
I
time.
hope
Ladies and
so
gentlemen, the
much.
great Karen Woodson, your next town council member this November. And dear, I'm going to take care of Beach
Okay.
Pottery, and then we're going to make sure we tell everybody about your artwork. Beach Pottery is located at 17. Don't tune us out. Don't tune us out. Wait till you see the picture of this table. This table would not be accepted at the Beach Pottery. It wouldn't be put on the patio so that people could bid on it. Beach Pottery, they have this this fine area of. I got some pictures I can show you of the Beach Pottery because they have like a little. What would you call that? You call that like a little bodega, right? Or it's a little area for food and well, look, 95 calories of something. Oh wait, that's not on the picture. That's in the beer on the wall here. All right, so the Beach Pottery is located at 17980 San Carlos Boulevard. And that, of course, is on the way to the beach. 437-4211. Pots, plants of every size. You can buy one for $5. You can buy one for $500. If you buy one for $500, you better have one big-ass plant to put in that pot. Indoor pots, outdoor pots, everywhere pots, and more pots. And of course, as you know, they are imported from Vietnam or Mexico. There's over an acre of pots. And then you go inside after you've scoured the pots outside and you're sweating. You've got pits of sweat and sweat's coming off your eyebrows and your nose hairs. And you go inside and you wipe yourself off first before you sit in one of the nice chairs and you say, I'll take an espresso, or I'll take a muffin or a smoothie or a cake pop, my favorite, cake pops. Beach Pottery, and thank you to Alana and Kurt and those clowns down there for being sponsors for the last 2 years. They're great people. Before we show you Kim's artwork, got a little video for you. All righty. Now, I don't know
I
if
just thought of something.
you
I
heard
wanted to
that.
say.
I hope they heard the commercial. If you were paying attention there, I asked her before the show not to slam the bottles during my professional broadcast. So it didn't sound like
That's
we're in
when
some.
someone tips and the bell gets rung. You
Yeah.
know?
So she does now. She does it on purpose. So she's trying to break every bottle that she
she's
puts
really
in there.
encouraging
Yeah.
people to order bottles so that she could just go over there and do that one at a time.
Now, Christy, could you guys hear the sound of the commercial? Like, we couldn't hear it here, but hopefully you guys could hear it out there. Of course, we love the Island Carts FMB folks. And, you know,
Hey, so that's what I wanted to say.
go ahead.
You know, one idea is when when Bayside gets done and Bay Oaks gets done, what would be great is for the Island Carts FMB and I don't know who else, but to do like when they gave us the cart to go around with Jan and show off things like where the school is and where the Mound House is.
Yeah.
Like
It's
that's
got to be Jan, because
people
Jan
love
is
that. That would
yeah.
be great to go and show off the Bayside, Newton Park, all
Mhm.
of the other things that people may not be so acutely aware of, and all of the things and places and venues where you can go and see these great concerts and all this good stuff that's going to come here.
I'm
What?
reading the comments as
Yeah.
you're going on. Now, what were you saying?
About getting
Oh,
on
yeah.
the cart and
No,
doing that.
I
Like,
agree.
I think
I agree.
that's
And those batteries will last forever now. They're forever batteries. So what I thought I wanted to do, dear, before we let everybody go, I know you have so much to do on a Saturday.
yeah, the dogs have to get their vaccines.
Not you, the people that are watching.
Oh.
I'm going to start the clock on you, and I'm going to ask you these questions.
I don't
Dog
have
or cat
answers.
person?
Dog.
Dog person. First concert, Cheap
Who
Trick.
already said that?
Favorite sport?
Favorite sport?
Yeah, I forgot to ask Karen that. Favorite sport?
Hiking.
Hiking. That's not a sport. Favorite
Oh.
sport?
Favorite sport? I'm not big about it. I'm not big about
Pick
sports.
a sport.
Football.
All right, football. Favorite TV show as a youngster, growing up?
Oh, Lost in Space.
Very nice. What was the stowaway's name? Mr.
Oh,
It's
Was
a
it-
basic, simple name.
wasn't it Dr.
Dr. what? Doctor, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
What did you want to be when you were growing up?
Oh, boy, a doctor.
You wanted to be a doctor. Got you. Smartest person you know.
Well, I said that.
Who did you say?
I said Dan Hughes.
All right, Dan
but
Hughes.
I mean, and my dad, but
All
you
right.
said you couldn't
Your dad's
get
watching, so
family.
that's a good answer.
No, I know, but you
Who
said
is
you
your
couldn't call family.
Childhood hero? I didn't have a childhood hero.
Oh.
Maybe it was probably a baseball player or something. Where was your last vacation?
My grandma would be my childhood
Yes,
hero.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Where was your last vacation?
My last vacation was Utah.
Favorite city?
Mm.
Can't be Fort Myers Beach.
I don't think that I really have a favorite city.
Come on, you can't say no answer. Pick a city.
All right, I will say Charlotte.
You've never even been to
Yes, I
Charlotte.
have.
You have
I
not
was
been
there.
to Charlotte.
Oh, you know what? That was my last
I
vacation.
can't
Was
believe
Asheville.
I can't
And we
believe you
went to
didn't say Salt
Charlotte.
Lake City or something like that.
Go ahead.
What would your last meal on earth be?
I don't know. Some really yummy vegetarian thing.
Best lover. Don't answer that. Please don't answer that. All right, so hey, wait, you laughing like that is not appropriate. All right, let me show you. First of all, I want people to know that's not a toilet.
Oh, well, why didn't you take the candle off of it?
That is what you painted. Like that used to
You
be
don't-
like a shiny brown
Ugly.
indoor table that if you put a little shoe polish on it, it looked pretty good.
No, that table it's a wood table with a fake, I believe, fake cherry kind of finish
No, I
on
mean,
it.
come on.
It was worn. It was peeling. I'm not even a fan of the circular shape, but we have it.
All right.
I'm not going to throw it out, so I upcycled it.
You know
And
this,
so I did Debbie Lalo. Thank you.
Debbie. You
we
need to
did
come to
chalk
our house
paint.
and fix
I
this
did
thing.
chalk paint on it, and then I, roughed up the edges to give it that weathered look.
All right. So this is what it looks
I-
like to me. It looks like you forgot to paint
Thank
the
you.
corners. That's what it
No,
looks like to
you
me.
paint
I said,
them, and then you take sandpaper and you take it off. Now my mistake was not doing that sooner because I had to really push hard to get the paint off.
all right, what
But, yeah.
style is that, Debbie? I mean, seriously, you said to me,
They
come
call
out
it
to the
different-
garage
They call
and
it
help me
different stuff.
carry
They
the
call it-
table in. And I
like
was like, wait, are
Chevy
you gonna
chic,
are you
but I
gonna
don't
finish
really
it
like that
first
stuff.
before we carry it back in the house? And the thing weighs like
I was-
100 pounds. How
At
the hell did you get
which
it out of the
I
house?
carried it out by myself, not in pieces either.
Oh, brother. So,
Oh,
Maria says,
boy.
give it to
You
Carla.
guys are
There you
so
go. We're going to get a prize back if you give it to Carla, because Carla Pine knows
No, I
how
know,
to-
but the point is,
you
it's
did something. That's the point,
it's
right?
it's what I did, and
I
it
see.
doesn't have to be perfect, and it is not. There are lots of brush strokes. So distressed. Thank
What does
you.
that mean? What
You're
is
going to be
distressed?
distressed. It means it's had some distressing on it, which means the edges have been marked up. I love it. Now I need
You
to
don't
work
love it,
on.
dear.
I
I
do.
mean,
I
come
need to
on.
work on my brush strokes so they don't show
What
up.
the hell
as
are you going to
much.
paint next? I mean, I know
There's
you're going to.
there's a matching table to that. That's a side table. I'm
Oh,
doing
no.
that,
Oh, no.
and I'm doing the chair.
What color are you going to do the other side table? The same color?
No, I'm thinking about maybe doing a different color, but I don't
see.
know.
All right. So that was interesting. I go away for one day, and then the table is gone in the house. It's in the garage. There's paint everywhere, and then you're spray painting the cabinets next. I mean, so let's talk about this Buzz Lightyear thing. What are your
It's really
thoughts on why do you have to have a kids movie like the same sex kids movie kissing? Like, I didn't see the scene,
That's the problem.
and there people are complaining that that they're not like the Naples guy on the news was complaining it was canceled, so they didn't give their kids an opportunity to see two men kissing. Is it two men kissing, or is it?
This is why
two
you
women
should not be
kissing?
weighing in.
Well,
We didn't see it.
My point is, why do you have to try and indoctrinate the kids with any kind of sexual activity at all?
But
That's
that's what I'm
Buzz
saying.
Lightyear.
We didn't see it. I don't know if it was like a peck on the cheek, left and right, like a greeting.
I don't think it would be a big deal if it was
a
a greeting. Like, what was Buzz Lightyear? Wasn't it like a pretend toy or something,
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
Stretch
yeah.
Armstrong thing? I mean,
like a
man.
spaceship guy.
It's just the world's gone mad in the last few days.
That's what you think. That's your definition of the world going mad.
I think,
there's plenty of other things that you
the
could point
kids,
to.
just leave the kids out of it, for crying out
I
loud.
agree with that.
Yeah. So the 4th of July, everybody, is coming up. As a matter of fact, it's a week from Monday. And in case you weren't watching at the beginning of the show, we're going to be bringing you the parade live from the Whale. And the Whale is a restaurant on Estero Boulevard, for those of you that are living under a rock. And we are going to have like a primo location, like right on the sidewalk. And then at night, we're going to be showing you the fireworks. So if you don't live in Fort Myers Beach, I mean, you're going to be able to watch it all right here on this award-winning show.
What award did we?
We got an
win?
award from the Community Foundation.
Oh,
so you can always say we're an award-winning
But that
show.
was for your donation.
No, well, whatever. We got an award, and it's hanging up in our bed. Why do you keep looking at the comments?
Because I think I said Debbie, and I meant Dawn when I said distressed.
Oh, I see.
She mentioned
So is
that.
there anything else you want to talk about before we sign off for today?
I
And
think
thank
if
you to
you're
Karen.
bored, you should go back and watch either Seinfeld or Welcome Back, Kotter on whatever channel that was.
What channel
I
was that?
on. It was on the regular TV, the live TV thing that we don't.
Yeah.
We only get through the thing. It was hilarious because it was the episode where Barbarino was getting in. He was
Barbarino.
going to go into this fight with this rival thing, and he walks up and he starts doing this, and he's I don't know what he was doing. It was hilarious.
What
And
are you doing?
That's right. And the guy goes, "Have you got?" I don't know what he said. Like he said, "Like, is there something wrong with you?" It was funny.
You know
It
what would be
was
interesting
so
game to play?
funny.
Like, you go through the cast of Welcome Back, Kotter. Who's dead or alive? Like, is
Well, I
is
think that
Gabe
goes on
Kaplan? Is he still alive or dead? Like, you'd have to research those
Yeah.
things. You know, John Travolta's alive, but
Right.
is Horseshack alive or dead? I mean, we're getting to that point in our life now where we hear about more dead people than we do like go to funerals and
What
stuff.
was that? Was
Epstein. Can you name the cast of Welcome
Right.
Back, Kotter?
well only that part. Julie.
And wasn't the wife of Welcome Back, Kotter, the guy, wasn't she in WKRP in Cincinnati? See?
I think you're right.
See the
Yeah,
connection
yeah,
there?
she might be.
My favorite TV show, if you're going to ask me, I mean, nobody asked me rapid fire questions, was Happy Days.
Oh yeah, Happy
Yeah.
Days was good.
The 70s, where you actually had
The
to sit,
Fonz.
for the kids out there in Facebook land, you actually had to sit down at a certain time
Right.
on a certain day to
Yeah.
watch a certain show, or you'd miss it. And there
Yeah.
was no way to see it again until years and years. There was some kind of rule where the shows couldn't go into syndication until like 5 years after the show went off the air.
Mhm.
And now they don't even go to movie theaters. They go.
I can't believe you didn't say Saturday Night Live back in its heyday.
No, I wasn't
No, you weren't.
yeah.
You're
it was
not
like
into
2
humor?
years.
Yeah.
I'm into Dave Chappelle kind of humor.
Ugh.
What? You don't like Dave Chappelle?
I thought it was. It's
Because he pushes the edge too much, right?
yeah.
Oh, I see.
But the other guy I like, and his show was it
What other
pushed
guy?
the edge
What's
too
his
much
name?
too. The
Ricky
British-
Gervais. Yeah, he's
I
funny
like-
too.
He's funny, but it's too.
The thing is that
it's-
nobody
they
can
go
take
too
a
far.
joke anymore. If it's just a joke, it's a comedy thing. Nobody's trying to get
Well,
feelings
that's
hurt.
your
Everybody's got
opinion, though.
feelings, and they get on Twitter, and
Your opinion.
right is
That's,
everybody's
but
feelings.
that's
are
why
hurt.
we
I
have
know
the
because
whole
I'm a
freedom of
white
speech
guy.
thing
I
and
know.
yada yada yada.
All
Is
right,
you get to say
enough.
what you want to say. But
All right, dear. We've had enough fun
I
for
gotta
one.
go.
We got enough fun for one day. So, you didn't even read the Tiki Tours ad, so they get a freebie, free week for them. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being part of our little family here. Because without you, it would just be us two. And what kind of fun would that be? Just us two. I mean, it's not very much fun
All
at
in
all.
the Family was a good one too.
Oh, now
but-
talk about a racist
Ooh,
guy. I mean, come
I
on. Yeah.
know.
I mean, that. Who said All in the Family was their favorite
Debbie.
show? Debbie, come on. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Edith!
I know.
Oh, Terry looked when I said Edith. Get me a beer. Beer here.
That's
What
not
else?
how. That's not how.
What
we
else?
said it.
Shows from the 70s. The Jeffersons was a good
What
show.
about the Brady Bunch?
That was
Was
before the
that-
70s, wasn't
Oh.
it? What
I don't
else? Happy
think so.
Days, Laverne and Shirley, Mork and Mindy. What else in that genre? Mork and Mindy.
Rockford Files.
Rockford Files. Nah, it wasn't.
Columbo. Lawrence Welk. That was too early.
Way early.
Yeah.
All right. Thank
I
you
don't
all. You
remember.
guys have a great weekend. We'll see you again next Saturday. Matt Caldwell is one of our guests. Thanks to Karen Woodson. And you all have a great weekend. It's a lovely day on the beach.
MASH.
MASH was a good one. Yeah.
That was a good one. That was too much.
Say it. Bye-bye.
Bye.